Okay, so for the past 2 Sundays, I put out a video talking about the top 6 stocks that I'm excited about for the following week. And then every Saturday, we do a recap, okay? So for the past 2 weeks, I've averaged 9% and 8% respectively over the past 2 weeks. Now we're going to do a recap of how we did last Sunday. And it wasn't as good. I'm just going to be fully upfront and honest with you guys. We weren't down overall for the week, but it wasn't 8 or 9%. It wasn't even 5% like I usually like to look for. So, and one of these stocks was down quite a bit. So let's just jump right into the charts here. We'll go through this as quick as we can. RKT, Rocket Companies, was one of the companies that was on my list. When we talked about it, it was at $20.25. It is now closed at $19.63, or down 3% on the week. Now, I do want to point out one thing here. My goals with these trades or swing trades is to gain 5 to 10% in a week. If you can do that every single week, grow your portfolio by 5 to 10%, you will be among one of the best traders in the world. Look it up. Some of the best traders in the world only average like 60 to 70%, and that's a fantastic return over the course of a year. You can average 5 to 10% a week, you will be among one of the best traders in the world. So just keep that in mind when you think about these trades. Because some of you guys, when I make these videos, you're like, well, you could have made 150%, you could have made 100%, you could have done this. If you can do this consistently, not just hit home runs every once in a while, but if you can bat, right, 300 every single game, you're going to make money in the stock market. I don't even watch baseball, and I did a baseball analogy. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. So Rocket, we were down on Rocket about 3% on that trade, okay? Bitcoin had a fantastic week, but it's only up right now about 5%, but it did reach all-time highs twice. So when we talked about Bitcoin, it was at $18,127, and now it is trading at $19,000 per Bitcoin. Right now it's up about 5%, but at one point it was up about 8%. So Bitcoin is having a really good week. Like I said, it hit all-time highs twice, and that was my prediction for Bitcoin last week, and that happened. So the next one is APXT. This is a SPAC that will be merging with AvePoint. We've talked about it a couple times on this channel. AvePoint is the largest Microsoft Cloud 365 solutions provider in the entire world. Really, really exciting company. This is a long-term hold for me. When we talked about it last week, it was at $14.20 per share. It is now trading at $14.10 per share. However, if you look at the 5-day chart here on APXT, at one point it was all the way up at 16 bucks, okay? So there were plenty of places where you could enter. You could have entered this at 14.20 and exited at 16 something. You would have made your 10% for sure, okay? If that's your goal, if you're into swing trading. So this would have been a good trade. If you held it for the whole week, you're down about 0.5%. Big deal. So pretty much flat on that one, okay? This is the one that was down the most for the week. It was risky to put it on the list, and I put it on the list. But CBAT, this is a Chinese battery company, and there was a bunch of issues with the house and pretty much every Chinese company, like Neo, Xpeng, like all these companies just took a huge hit last week because there was some legislation that went through with real fears that these Chinese companies were going to be delisted if they didn't cooperate and all this stuff. And those fears are really unfounded, right? Most of these companies are going to cooperate, but the market reacted, and CBAT was down 27%. Okay, when we talked about it, it was trading at $8.19. I was thinking it was set to go back up to $10 to $11. Now may be a fantastic time to buy, since these stocks may rebound once people start to understand this legislation. Okay, so it's trading at $5.97 now, down 27% from when we talked about it. The fifth company we talked about was SRAC. I just did a video on SRAC. They're a SPAC that's merging with Momentus, which is a space company that is slated to be like the Uber of space for satellites. It's a really cool company. I put this on the list because one of you brought this to my attention, and I'm really, really excited about this company. When we talked about it, it was at $13.20. It is now trading at $15.75, which is about a 19% upswing. So this was a good trade last week. If you jumped in, this was a really good trade. So, and then the sixth one, and I laughed because Jim Cramer talked about this company on CNBC the other day. So CIIC, we talked about CIIC when it was $24.10. And if you look at the 5-day chart, it wasn't looking great, guys. It got down all the way down to like $16, like 17 bucks a share, from highs of like 34. It dropped all the way down. That's what I talked about in my video, that it was poised to pop up. And it was kind of trading sideways, and then Jim Cramer goes, "You guys should look at CIIC." You know how he screams all the time? Yeah, he's crazy. It's great. He talked about it, and then bam, the next day it shot up like 30%. Just like that. Jim Cramer talks about something, and boom, who knew that guy could influence the market so much? So it may not have popped. It may have been flat, but that was kind of our saving grace for the week. So if you invested in all of these stocks equally, planned on holding them for a week, you would be up now 1.7%, because overall we were up 14% on that CIIC trade. CIIC is the company, it's another SPAC that's merging with Arrival, which is essentially like the UK EV equivalent of Workhorse that we have here. But in my mind, it's a much cooler company. Jim Cramer talked about CIIC being the son of Tesla. I think that's a stretch, but hey, who knows? Jim Cramer is the man, you know. So he screams a lot, but he's the man, right? So tomorrow I'll be putting out a brand new list. If you guys have some ideas for me for this list for the following week, because some of these were your ideas, CBAT and SRAC specifically were you guys' ideas. And one of them was up 19%, and one of them's down 27%. So I can't take full credit for CBAT, but I also can't take full credit for the 19% jump in SRAC either. So I appreciate you guys' dialogue. I appreciate you guys watching these types of videos, because I think there is a common misconception with the market. A lot of us expect to get rich quick, and we're not happy with 5 to 10% or up 1.7%. And I want you guys to think differently about the market. If you could even just make 2% a week, you're going to beat the S&P 500 every single year. On average, historically, right? What does the S&P gain? Around 8% per year? Maybe 9%? If you can gain 2% per week and compound that over time, even on a $10,000 account or a $1,000 account, you could make good money over the course of a year. Now, if you could do it 5% a week or 10% a week, you can make good money over the course of a year. I would encourage you to do the math. Like, take your portfolio, whatever you have in your portfolio right now, and do math. Go out even a few months and do 5% a week and compound it. So just keep in plus 5%, plus 5%, plus 5% on your calculator to try to figure out where you would be in even 5 months. Just do 5 months. You're going to be surprised how big your portfolio could grow if you could average just 5% per week. And that's the goal with these types of videos, is I want you to get to build a different relationship with the market. Don't expect to always hit home runs. Think of this as a slow and steady race. And even though that 5 to 10% seems slow, right? It's not. You can grow your portfolio in an exponential way if you make smart decisions with the market and try to grow your portfolio. It's starting to be proven that retail investors are better at managing their own money. You don't have to pay all these fees to your stockbroker or Edward Jones or whoever, right? These guys don't know any more than you do. They don't. I have a crazy goal of growing my portfolio by 30% per month for the next year. It's an experiment that I'm running with myself. And it's working. The past 3 months, I've grown my portfolio by 30%. But my way of trading is working for me. It works for me. The last company I want to talk about just real quick, okay? And it's to point out, it's to prove a little bit of a point. is that you can't always expect these stocks to run over the course of a week, right? That's why Bitcoin has been on the list for 2 weeks in a row. That's why Rocket was on the list for 2 weeks in a row. That's why PAC-B was on the list for my first and my second week, right? And PAC-B, if you guys are familiar with this company, we saw a big jump just recently. When it was on my list, it was trading under $15, and now it's at $20 per share. So that's about a 35% gain over the course of 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Remember, my audacious goal is to grow my portfolio by 30% per month. And that's a crazy goal. Like, you can grow a $10,000 portfolio to hundreds of thousands over the course of a year. Like, I'm not joking, hundreds of thousands. I've done the math. So if you would have hung on to PAC-B, for instance, and not panicked and not sold and just waited a couple weeks, this jumped 35% from when we talked about it just a few weeks ago. It just kind of traded sideways. It went down a little bit, traded sideways, went down a little bit. And then you had opportunity to enter this trade in the 14s and the 15s. I was assuming it was due for a little bit of a pop, and it popped. So it was exciting. So sometimes you need to hang on a little bit longer, even on your swing trades. Sometimes they won't pan out over the course of a week. It'll take much longer. So keep that in mind when you're trading. Stay safe when you're trading. My whole goal with this channel is to hopefully help you make more informed decisions in the stock market. And, you know, as this channel grows, I hope to make more videos about, you know, owning a business and starting a business and different ways to make money passively, because that's what my wife and I do. And maybe even starting a YouTube channel and growing that. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we can do in the future that isn't just stock market related that I have experience with. So I want to talk about that in the future as well. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. I would love to hear your opinion on whether or not you would be interested in hearing about how to start a business, how to build a business, how to start a YouTube channel, just passive income stuff in general, because that's the reason I'm able to do what I'm doing right now, is because of passive income. So if that wasn't the case, I wouldn't be able to work on this, no joke, 15, 16 hours a day sometimes. You guys are like, how do you post so many videos? I'm working my butt off. That's how I post so many videos. 15 to 16 hours a day between research and editing and talking to you guys down in the comments and talking to other YouTubers. I love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another video. I appreciate you as always. If you didn't already do it, click that beautiful red subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.